of sharing some ideas with you. I know people are just coming in now, but I also know that you're going to start the timer. And if you start the timer, that means that I haven't finished it, then that trap door opens and all you see is the top of my head disappearing, in which case anybody else can finish off the day. I'm not bothered, there's a microphone there. Enjoy. So as you're just coming in, what I want to share with you is today's presentation is really about changing the way that you think about the biggest challenges that we have as CIOs. Now, as you probably worked out, I'm not a CIO because I'm not that smart. All I do is talk a lot. So that's what I'm here for. But I'll share with you a couple of different ways of looking at stuff. Can we get my presentation up? Okay, so here's the thing. I didn't really mean to say how to go from CIO to CEO. I know it says that, but here's the thing. How many people watch football? Okay, how many people don't watch football? How many people have no television? How many people live in their car? Too much information. Let's go back again. So, Ronaldo or Messi, arguably the best footballers in our generation, in our lifetime. Could they be the captain of their football team? Yes, they could. And they are. And they're brilliant at it. Could they be a great coach or manager? That's different. So I've watched the conversations being about CIOs becoming CEOs. And there are a couple of challenges of that which I'll go through in this presentation. And I'm going to give you an alternative, which is you don't necessarily have to be a CEO. You don't necessarily have to spend time in all these different departments that don't interest you, not everybody, but looking after logistics, looking after HR, looking after sales and marketing, it might not be your thing. But what you can do is elevate your position to be a CIO that the world is paying attention to. Does that interest you? Yeah. One person, nobody else cares. Does that interest you? Yeah. Thank you so much. So let's get on with the presentation. As you probably realised, it's very important for me to have a massive screen with my name on because I've got a massive ego, and otherwise I go home backwards and forwards and think about my life choices. But it's not just here that I have this. It's important to see what I'm sharing with you as an idea of what you need to think about. So when I go on a stage, wherever it is, sometimes I get introduced by somebody who says, ladies and gentlemen, this is davecrane, and they've gone through Google or they've gone through my website and they introduce me really well. Sometimes they turn around and say, this is davecrane, he's a hypnotist, don't look at his eyes, he's going to make you bark like a dog. In which case the audience just looks at me like I've got three heads and they're throwing the room to me. So what I do is I have a presentation of some of the best parts of me, so whenever I go in, it resets the room the way I want it to be, and the process of doing that means looking at who you are, what your audience wants to see, and what will they value to be able to want to work with you in the future. So have a look at this.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've hosted over 1,000 events, and there's nothing more exciting or nerve-wracking than getting to introduce one of the best in the business. He's an award-winning international motivational speaker and coach. He's worked with celebrities like James Brown, Bruce Willis.
I'm Jack Hamlin. I'm Ryan Tracy. I'm John Gray. I'm Jared Bob.
I'm Kerry Marshall.
Audiences of over 1 billion people. He's sharing how to become unstoppable in business. It's my honor to introduce to you davecrane.
And that's when I come to the stage and I get to go. Now don't stop. Can we just reset the timer, please? Because I've done it for 8 minutes. It was meant to be 20, and I will sue. I won't really. I will sue you. Alright, so when we're talking about that presentation, what this does is it means in a very short amount of time, people know exactly who I am and what I can deliver, or at least they're paying enough attention. Because there's 3 things that people need before they buy you or from you. They need to know trust, they need to know that you have credibility, and they need to know that there's authenticity. I can talk a big talk, I can say I've done lots of things, but when the evidence is there, it's there. Now, most people don't do that. They have a CV or they have LinkedIn, and that's pretty much what they do. And they treat their LinkedIn like it's just a CV, really. It's not more than that. The battleground is changing quite considerably. And that's a weird noise, and I didn't do it. So what I'm going to share with you is a different way of thinking about things. So if you are naturally a CIO, and you keep making that noise, then here's the thing. You've got to work out why it is that you become visible. The facts show the more visible you are, the more that people can understand what it is you do, the more they will buy from you. Now, I'm not going to give you a lot of time to look at these slides, but if you do connect with me on LinkedIn, and you send me a message, I will send you this entire presentation. There you go, that's what we're grabbing everybody. So what I need you to do now is, on this, we have a very quick survey. Get your phone up, get the QR code, log in, because I'll be asking you some grown-up questions. And we're going to do a little survey in this room to work out exactly what the pulse is of the stuff I'm going to be sharing with you. So the first question is this. Which skill do you believe will define the next generation of CIO? Which of these skills? Strategic vision, great communication, innovation, emotional intelligence, or public visibility. Lots of different things coming through from people, or it could be all the above. Let's just see what you think. I think one of them just being on the bottom of the screen will never know what it is. I should have thought about that on the side of the screen, but not to worry, we'll continue anyway. Let's see how they do with that. The numbers are about 34 people joined in. I was about 200 people in the room. So clearly, a lot of you do hate Bob Marley or Milli Vanilli, and it's personal. So let's just have a quick last chance for you to do this survey. I'll give you another 3 seconds to do it. If you just get your phone up and you're looking through your WhatsApp and you're just checking to get with LinkedIn, and then you're going to do this, wrong order. So that's not bad. We've got to scroll. We'll go back to this, by the way, and we'll share with you what we had as results. I wrote a book last year called The Thought Leader's Playbook. And this allows you to position yourself as a thought leader, not a CEO, as a thought leader. Somebody who has great ideas that the world will pay attention to. Now, the world has changed quite considerably. It's no longer about old media, magazines, newspapers, and radio. It's about podcasts, social media, live events like this, creating communities, memberships. And I'm talking about it here, and you can see the kind of things that really make a huge difference. That's what you want to be able to think about. And as a CIO, you don't normally have that on your radar unless it's something that the company wants to put together for you. I want to show you a way to raise your game. And these are comments from some really big hitters. Joel Corey, you may know. Corey Block, one of the best coaches in the UAE, and so on. That's what they think about the book. Now, if you want to take pictures of these slides, feel free to do so. I'll leave them up for about 1.3 seconds. So you need to make sure you catch it straight away, otherwise you'll be upset. You can phone me later and say, Dave, can I get a copy of that? And I'll say, yeah, $200. I'm not joking, I'll be about 150. So what we have here is the 9 steps you need to be really effective to take your journey to be a thought leader as a CIO. I'm going to explain it. If you haven't got this individual slide, I'll go through it individually for you. First thing is this. Find your tech edge. What is it that you do so much better than anybody else in your industry? And there's a lot to be played with. Is it AI? Is it AI for people? Is it AI for cooking? Is it AI in hospitality? Is it AI? It doesn't matter what it is, but you need to be able to champion what you do and why it is that you stand out. Why it is that you're the person that gets the best results. Because what happens with that is the more you put this out, the more that people go to you for that specific thing. I've been in Dubai for 30 years. I've hosted everything from Dubai Rugby Sevens for 20 years. I've been working with you guys here at CIO for like 10 years. So what is it that people hire me for? Because whatever the event is, throw Dave at it and you'll make it work. What's your superpower? What is it? Then you audit your leadership style. How do you relate to people? In many cases, you don't do that particularly well. I don't mean that with any disrespect. Are we changing the timing back again and you're going to flash it for me and get me really upset? And I'll just set up the fire alarm and say, it'll be your fault, you start the fight. Anyway, So what we've got here is the importance of knowing how you do talk to people. How do you communicate? Are you overpowering? And most of the time you won't find this out until you really do actually check out what you need to be able to do to get these facts and figures. One of the great things about having ChatGPT or any AI is you can put this in and it will put together a system for you to audit yourself. Looking at your team, how do they respond to you? Run surveys. Number 3 is crafting a clear message. If you've done something amazing or you want to share case studies with the world, how are you going to make sure that everybody knows it comes from you? And how are you going to make sure that what you share is what the world really wants to hear? And it really does matter, because the result is that when you speak with power. It's not just a noise. They know that when you speak, you say something that matters. When Steve Jobs would go up and speak, you would pay attention to him. Now here's one of the things about it. We could talk, and I won't talk about Elon Musk much, for legal reasons, and I'm scared. But one thing is true, when you're really good at what you do, it doesn't matter what your personality is like, people still trust you to do what you said you were going to do, because you've proven it. Here's another little survey for you. If you haven't already signed up, now's your chance to do it. Let's have a little check for this. What's the biggest blocker? What's the thing that's holding you back more than anything towards having an impact outside of your organization? It might be that you're scared to create content that people will read. It might be that you're too busy. It might be that in your organization is red tape. Or it might even be internal politics. You're in charge of CIO, you're a tech guy, leave that stuff in the other departments. All these subconsciously make you feel small, keep you in your lane, and stop you doing what you need to do, which is being seen as a global star, as you. Because I know that when they did a survey last time, this is going back to one of the previous CIO events, we asked how many people in the room wanted to be a CEO, of which 25% of the room wanted to be. Everyone else was comfortable where they are. And then they said how many people were on the way to be a CEO? 4%. So that says to me that maybe, just maybe, there's a different group you need to consider. And that's why I put this together. So when we do the next thing is test it internally. You don't have to put it out to the world. Test it amongst your team. Test it towards your organization. Use newsletters. I've got 20 minutes. I didn't warn you about this. I'm going to do another 10 minutes. If you don't like it, you're going to hate me. So when you do this, test it internally with everybody. See what they think. Because they will give you a clue that will remind you about what's going to work when you take it out to the big outside world. You want to research it for 10 minutes? Good, thank you. When you've done that and you've got a polished production or a really good idea or a fantastic post to put on LinkedIn, you don't have to make videos, by the way. There's lots of ways around this. Then you're ready to take it out public. That's when you release it and people get to see who you are. And everything you do is an asset. So if you're implementing a new system in your organization and you found that if you do a survey or you put the blue button on the red wire, I don't know, I've only watched Mission Impossible 8,000 times, and you found that, contrary to popular belief, this is a way around it, let people know. You're not trying to convince the rest of the world about CIOs. You're talking to CIOs who will champion you. And it means that as you're doing it, you don't have to retain it. People notice it, and they take value about you as who you are. And every time you put it out there, because knowledge means nothing anymore. Once upon a time, if you learned loads of stuff that was great, you could hold on to it, and people needed to come to you. AI has the same knowledge within seconds, but how you use that and how you share it with people is the battleground. So get your stuff out there so people can see you. And share it wherever it matters. Post, LinkedIn, go on podcasts. Come to events like this and speak. You don't have to be on a stage like this. You can talk to people out there who will then come to you with questions and they respect you as somebody who's really special. But your voice needs to have influence. This is not the battleground of only those gorgeous people like Mr. Beast, etc., who are able to say, I've got 1 million followers. You don't need 1 million followers. You just need the people who are relating to you and want to work with you. And then when you've got your system together, make it so it's repeatable. Make it so you can do the same thing again and again. And then you get excited by systems. My wife gets excited by systems. She's brilliant at organizational stuff. For me as a creative, straight over the top of my head. And I know that you can create systems to create really good stuff, put it out into the market, and people will follow you and enjoy it. And I promise you, the world doesn't know yet that IT is the most important industry in the world. It thinks it's other stuff. But AI came straight to your desk. Everyone thinks that they know it, but how you implement it in an organization is the only way forward. And as you do it, it's important to be humble. Don't turn around and say, me. That doesn't work anymore. People want you to be approachable. People want you to know that they like following you. Everybody has value, everybody is worth something, and if they know that you won't turn around and laugh at them for being stupid or not knowing, for me there is no silly question. It's a question that matters to you, and therefore I have to honour it. Apart from, is that your real hair, and do you know you look fat in a pink shirt? I'm not answering that. But the rest of it, I really do value. And so you will as well. You'll find that from people too. So you grow your influence, not your ego, and people will relate to you on exactly that point. And the ninth point of this is every single thing you put out there, align your message of your organization. You're not trying to go past your organization. You've got a good job that pays well. You enjoy working there. What you're doing is letting everybody know that when they find you, they can also find an organization that you are championing and you are representing. And that means that the factor of why people get paid is very important. Does anybody know the formula for being paid? I shared with a couple of people earlier. I'll go through it very quickly. You get paid for 2 reasons. I get paid for 2 reasons. The waiting staff in here, the photographers, the sound and light guys, there's 2 reasons. First thing is the impact of the job that you do. The second thing is how cheaply you can be replaced by somebody else. That's why lawyers, doctors, accountants, and teachers should be very worried. Because knowledge used to be the thing that would guarantee you're employed. But when AI can give the knowledge and it's free for everybody, you need to be better at people. So all the stuff I shared with you is ultimately about being better at people. I'm going to go straight through. This is a slide, actually, a slide that you want to have a picture of. I'll let you have this. If anybody wants to have a copy of this so that you can look at later on, I might put this on LinkedIn actually. If you're not connected with me on LinkedIn, then do. And then send me a message and say, Dave, can you send me this presentation? And I'll send you the invoice, as I mentioned earlier. Everyone got this? Okay. I'm going to move through this quite quickly because I'm not sure how much time we've got because he's sulking over there. It's not even going to put up the clock for me. He's just going to go, I'm not doing it. I'm going to plug your laptop. Okay, so I'm going to treat it like 5 minutes anyway. This is a system that I use when I'm working with thought leaders, decision makers, CEOs, VIPs, or people who want to raise themselves up their career ladder faster than everybody else. I'm not going to spend time on this, but it is a real system that you can use and fill in all the gaps yourself. If you want to know more about this, you can buy the Thought Leaders Playbook. It's available on Amazon as we speak. Did that just disappear? That's just me. Alright. There's a toolkit for each of these things that you do. To track your progress, to get a debrief at every stage so you can see what worked and didn't work. And then I'm just going to go through to case studies next before I finish and build up your credibility. So let's look at the fact that certain people do this really well. Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Reid Hoffman, Jack Dorsey, and Padmasree Warrior. All of them CEOs, but originally CIOs. You don't have to become a CEO, you just have to be brilliant at what it is that you do. Now there are challenges, I'll go through this and we'll call it a day. The challenges that you face are these. Limited access to be able to do cross-function stuff. You see them as operators, not strategists. You also have low visibility outside the IT world. And there's other things, imposter syndrome, no personal brand. And also, nobody's willing to invest in you, so you've got to do it yourself. But here's the factor that makes such a huge difference. There's a phrase, and I don't mean this with disrespect. In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. While everybody else is whining about this and complaining and saying it's not fair, if you say, I'll get over that and I'll do it myself, then you have an advantage over everybody else in this room. And it doesn't have to be against them, you can be with them, they are with you. If you lead and bring them with you. So, when we look at this, there are a few challenges. These things are stopping you. You like tech, you don't like people. Don't be disrespectful. You feel more comfortable typing away or looking at systems than sitting there and talking to people like HR do. I know that. But that doesn't mean you can't tell stories about tech. It doesn't mean that you can't be visible when you talk about tech. So let's very quickly look at Elon Musk, engineer who speaks. Very good at doing what he does, but when he does speak, it doesn't work out too well. It doesn't matter, he's still Elon Musk. He's still got a few pennies in the bank. Then we've got Steve Jobs. The late hero wasn't very nice, apparently. Does it stop you respecting Steve Jobs as one of the best of the best when it came to inventing stuff? And I don't mean it in a horrible way because I've got Apple as all my products. What has Apple done in the last, since Steve Jobs, that makes you go, oh, that's a great idea? Is everybody here from Apple? But you know what I mean? iPhones, iPads, all the rest of it, you get the next version next year. Nothing new in the same way. So therefore, he didn't invest in anything. But he'd go on stage and he'd present, and when he presented, the performance would make you want to get the product. Bill Gates, thought leader for his generation. Same thing. I'll go through these very quickly. Reid Hoffman. Now the difference with Reid Hoffman, who's head of LinkedIn, is LinkedIn is the only profile, the only platform where you can be comfortable saying what you think and it behaves. It's not toxic, it's not nasty, so his values are there. And he's on that platform. Then we've got Jack Dorsey, who used to own Twitter, is now Blue Wave, I think it is, or something like that. Is it Blue Wave, Blue Butterfly? Anyway, Jack Dorsey, and last but not least, Mystery Warrior. And I put her on deliberately, not to produce a genius, but because there's not enough women on display in the industry that we can see as role models. And that's going to change. That's a massive, massive challenge. And I would throw a challenge down to every single woman in this room right now, everybody who's a supporter of more women in the industry, contact me directly, get this presentation, position yourself so you can't be ignored by anybody anymore. So I'll just finish off here. The pitfalls facing CIOs, when you get to the top of the food chain, is in the senior rooms, they're not asking for your opinion. You speak tech, we don't see you speaking business. Your visibility is they only call you when something's broken, and all the rest of the things on this list are a challenge for you. But that shouldn't be why you leave it there. Your skill should be this. You learn to read the room. Read this room. My skill is I look at the Wi-Fi code of everybody I talk to. Whether I'm talking to 50,000 people in the environment sevens, or a group of, 300-400 people in a room of CIOs, working out how you relate to people. That's a massive skill. You don't have to be CEO. You just need to know who your audience is and create for them. One thing I'll leave you, this is the last slide. I'm going to be holding an event in about 2 weeks' time. We may change the date to fit more people in. If you want to know how to dominate on LinkedIn, that's what I'm going to be going through. Everything you need to know, so you're not just posting, or you're not just commenting, you will become an influencer in one day. I've been on a course recently, 11 weeks, to learn everything you need to know. You don't need that 11 weeks. You just need to do certain things really well. Because remember, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. Again, I hate that phrase, but you get the general idea about where it comes from. And the last thing I'm going to leave you with is this. If you're worried, if you're stressed, if you're thinking that can't be me, here's my signature phrase. Jump and grow wings on the way down. Calculated risks. What's the worst that's going to happen? You won't get any likes, you won't get any comments, but you might get one. And that one person might turn around and say, I've got some work for you, or let me connect you with some other people, or we've got something that's coming on the market, I'd like to get your opinion. That one person may change everything. So if you've enjoyed this presentation, then I thank you. My name is David Crane. But you've been amazing, and I thank you for it. Give yourselves a massive round of applause.